We told you about a plot to bomb the U.S. Capitol that the FBI stopped. It involved that 20-year-old Ohio man, Chris Cornell. He was a recent convert to Islam, and according to his parents, he is the latest example of a disturbing trend where extremist groups are targeting and recruiting young people.
We will not stop fighting. We will not put down our weapons until we reach your lands.
As if parents didn't have enough to worry about while their children are on the internet, there is a possible new threat to add to the list. Extremist groups, be it Islamic extremists, eco-terrorists, or hate groups. These sects are now using social media to recruit new members. As of recently, 2 Colorado teen girls corresponded with extremists and planned to move to Syria to get married, believing they would live like princesses. More and more well-adjusted American teens are being lured into these groups without really knowing the outcome or what they really do, and the consequences can be grave.
Well, joining us this morning, we have terrorism expert Manny Gomez and also child psychologist Dr. Jody Gold. Good morning to both of you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Manny, let's start with you. ISIS is one of these organizations. They're on Twitter. They're on Facebook. They're on YouTube. They're everywhere. Is this how they're getting our kids?
Absolutely. This society now, the youth of America, is now focused on video games, on the internet, and cyber. And so ISIS is extremely good at recruiting these folks. The average is 50 recruits per day, simply by the internet. They have high-quality videos, a great campaign that they're putting out, obviously highly successful.
So the campaign is really geared towards the uneducated mind, or the mind that feels, well, somewhat that they're not part of society. Dr. Gold, so what do we do? What are these teens? There are certain types of teens that are obviously a target, and we see it again and again and again.
Yeah, that's true. It's common for teens to take contrary views. I think it's normal.
That's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. If your parents like red, you like blue.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. The problem is that vulnerable teens are more likely to actually internalize.
Yeah, but when do you cross the line to wanting to kill, to wanting to murder, to wanting to plot? That seems like it's the other realm of some sort of mental illness to me.
Well, I think it's actually kids that are vulnerable, and they get brought into this. They're kids that go online seeking reassurance, and they become victims for sort of the predators, for any type of extremist group. Yeah. The predators seek them out. They want reassurance. They feel alienated in their communities.
Yeah, tell me this, because when I hear you talk about this, my mind goes to like a street gang. Very, very simple, a street gang. And the way that they, see the kid, oh, this kid, try and groom them and try and bring them in. Is this the same thing on a different scale, do you think, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree. These are folks that are very, they're going to go somewhere. They're going to fall into some group, whether it's a street gang, as you said, or in this case, unfortunately, a terrorist or a type of sympathizer. The flavor of the month, unfortunately, is this. We saw it happen in France as well. Those young men were also radicalized and turned to violence against society.
I just have a hard time to believe that this is the flavor of the month. I really do. I just cannot imagine it. I know it's a reality. But, the guy in Ohio, he worked by himself. He wasn't, going to Syria. He wasn't going to Yemen, as we saw in Paris. He's not going to these extremist organizations and being funded by them. But still, the plot was there and the intention was there. I get it. But I feel like, what's going on? Like, kids have always felt like they're on the fringe, right? You always feel that way. So do you have any tips for parents? Do you have any tips for parents, Manny? I'll start off with you, Dr. Gold. Talk about the mind first.
All right. First of all, if you see a change in your teens or young adults' behavior, you need to pay attention.
They change every day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They change every day, and they're actually, it feels like, one day they're this way, another way. So give me something more clear.
So then figure out how they present themselves online. If you don't know what your kids are doing online today, you need to figure it out this weekend. The way they present themselves online is sort of a window into their soul. If it's not the way that it's your family culture, then do something about it. But what I think is really important is don't shut your kids down. So don't take away the phone and the computer because you don't like what they're doing. Try to understand what the appeal is.
Okay, so that you think that might even push them further? You take that
Yes.
stuff away, and you can push them right into the arms of some of these folks that are waiting for them. What do you think, man?
You have to be, I agree, you have to be cognizant of what they're watching, what they're viewing, and don't take it away with them because they will find other ways of viewing, whether it's their friend's house or what have you. So you need to understand if they start watching these radical videos, you have to sit down and try to explain or get them help.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
What are you doing? Get them help. Personally, I think the government or somebody should have an anti-ISIS campaign. The same way they're putting out high-quality videos, we should be doing the same. Well, perhaps even with a 1-800 number to seek help.
That is a great idea, Manny. That is a great idea. Hopefully they're listening. Before we let you go, I just want to talk about your thoughts on what happened in Belgium overnight. You know, you're an anti-terrorism expert, and we hear about all these sleeper cells, and once again, we see this activity. Can you give us your perspective on that this morning?
Well, they're out there. That's why they're called sleeper cells. They're out there. They're active. They're just waiting to pounce. And intelligence authorities internationally, we've become very, very good at addressing them, at identifying them, and neutralizing them, as we did with this young man in Ohio. The number one threat is still the lone wolf, the person that's going to act on his own. I mean, let's face it. If this young man from Ohio had not Twittered what his intentions, he would still be out there and possibly could have carried out this attack.
Manny Gomez, Dr. Gold, thank you so much for coming in. For more information on teens joining radical groups, please go to our website at PIX11.com. Once again.